What's good, y'all? Midas here, and today I've got a very interesting video. What if Luffy and Law swapped enemies? And with me, I got another YouTuber and a good friend of mine. Do you want to introduce yourself, bro?
Hello there. Hello. That's Sahara Sami here. Thank you for having me, Midas. He's a great up and coming YouTuber. I really believe in him. He's gonna do great things. I know he is.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro.
And
Appreciate you.
hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Comment down below what you think of his videos. I'm telling you.
Hey, man, I'm trying to be on the come up, man. I'm trying to be like you, bro. I'm trying to be like
chill,
you.
Chill. What do you mean like me, bro?
But that we've been, and it's been a long time coming as well, man. Because I feel like we've actually been like trying to do this for a while, and I kind of been putting it off a little bit. But we're here.
We've both been busy. Yeah, we are here. That's what matters.
Yes, sir. But before we start this video, I want to establish that we're not gonna go through every single enemy Luffy has ever gone through, especially since Law doesn't have anywhere near as much fights in the show. That might just be because he's not the main character, and also just because nobody has time for that. So, for example, there's no point picking out fights we know is going to be a no diff, which I'll leave down in the description for you guys if you want to comment. So we'll just be picking out more meaningful fights that can be expanded on for the sake of time and resources. So the first fight is going to be Law versus Crocodile. Now, first thoughts going into this fight, I'll go first. Because it was pre-time skip Luffy who fought Crocodile, we're going to be talking about pre-time skip Law for this fight. Now, up to this point in the series, Haki wasn't really a thing. Now, we know that Luffy had to use water to beat Crocodile, but could the room bypass Logia intangibility? Do you want to give some thoughts on that?
Bro? Honestly, I'd have to ask you about it. How did Law do against Smoker's intangibility since he's a Logia? Because that would be a good point of reference.
Yeah. To be honest, bro, like, there's a few things that I thought about in regards to this fight. So, the thing with Law and Smoker is that we're talking about a Law that has Haki. So, obviously, we'd expect for Law to be able to do Haki things. Like, it's not confirmed whether he was able to touch Logia's pre-time skip, because all that we had seen up to that point was him just using the room when Haki wasn't a thing pre-time skip. But when it comes to the Law and Smoker fight, now we know that, Straw Hat's Haki was introduced, Rayleigh's obviously given the explanation, and now it's part of the Law. So I think the question comes down to, does Haki determine whether or not the room can actually touch Logias? Do you see what I mean? Because Law's supposed to be able to do anything inside his room. Obviously, again, we've seen Law can do things like amputate, what's the word? He can use Kroom, which is an awakened ability, so he can pretty much cut anything, but it's like, it kind of becomes redundant after that, like, because if Haki can touch Logias now anyway, then the intangibility effect doesn't really matter when it comes to Logias. Do you want to add it? Do you want to add anything to that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, me personally, the way I see it is that it's simple. Haki counters double fruits. It doesn't necessarily negate it directly, but Haki is a good counter to double fruits, and that would apply to Logias as well. The way I see it, you could do room all you want, but at the end of the day, it's a double fruit, and Sand or Smoke or whatever the Logia is, at the end of the day, is intangible. It could just reform, you know what I mean? Like, you could split the sand in half and then it'll just reform. It's just a double fruit power doing it, you know what I mean? But if you put Haki in that, then it's not gonna reform as easily. It's gonna get damaged, it's gonna get whatever, negated. That's just how I see it personally.
Yeah. To be honest, I agree with you completely on that as well. Like, I just don't see any reason why he would be able to touch the sand, even though he can manipulate things in his room. I just feel like also in the series there wasn't enough feats by that point to show me that Law could manipulate the room, at least to the degree that he can now. Do you know what I mean? Without awakened abilities, and whatnot. So yeah, to be fair, in that context, I suppose I would give the fight to Crocodile. But I did want to ask you, what would be your thoughts on? So obviously, you know, Luffy, he's beaten Crocodile with water, right?
Yeah.
He had to use water. Yeah, again, haki isn't a thing. Now, can Law manipulate water inside his room? What do you think of that, bro?
I don't know, for sure he could. Like anything that's inside of the room, he could manipulate. But at the end of the day, are we saying that there is water in the room? Because that would that's all. You know what I mean? That's all circumstantial. It all depends on circumstances.
Right. Okay. Let's say there is water. Let's say hypothetically there is water around. Would he be able to hypothetically manipulate the water to affect Crocodile? What do you think?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Law's not a Law is smart at the end of the day. Like just the way he teleports using raindrops in a rainstorm, or like I don't know, he throws rocks that teleport. Like it shows that like he has full usage of his room. I mean, like he's a doctor, like he's a smart dude. So if he sees room inside of the water and he sees a man made out of sand, he's gonna hit him with the water for sure. I don't think it's I don't even think it's a debate.
Yeah, man. You know what? Like, I agree with you, just because, right, the reason I kind of brought that question up, and it's interesting to get your take on that, is because we saw, you know, in his fight with Smoker, he lifted a few ships up. Like, bro was going crazy, as you know, right? You know, obviously with the G5, I think it was the G5, and then Smoker with his peoples, with his men. And as he lifted the ship up, we saw that as a byproduct, obviously the water is dripping off of the ship and touching the room. Now, a lot of people are arguing, oh, but surely water would just discard the room. Well, we saw that seawater did nothing to the room. So I am under the impression devil fruits are as powerful as you imagine. Do you know what I mean? So if he thinks he can manipulate the water inside the room, he can manipulate the water inside the room, bro. I think it's only once it affects the user, that's when it starts to like drain energy and stuff. So yeah, but and then okay, maybe another point, and then we'll move on to the next fight. So stamina wise as well, I don't think Logias particularly have an energy issue, because the properties of whatever Logia you are is a thing in of itself. Like, you could do nothing as a Logia and still have your flames do shit for you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas with like the room, we know that taxes law of the stamina as well. So you know that stamina wise as well, law is screwed. So yeah, I'm no matter which way I look at it, to be honest, at least pre-time skip law, yeah, Crocodile takes that fight.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to say.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, okay. I think that one's decided. So, moving on to the next fight. Right. Now, Law versus Magellan. Law versus Magellan.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Of course.
Nah, bro. I don't even think that's a fight, bro. I think that's. I mean, look, Law is powerful and all, but bro, this man Magellan one-shot Blackbeard's whole crew. Blackbeard's whole crew, bro. He's never been defeated. We've never seen him get defeated.
Okay.
And he's also a Logia, just like Crocodile and Smoker. And
hold on a second. Nah, Magellan isn't a Logia, bro. Magellan's not a Logia.
You're right. He's not. He's a Parameci. I forgot. That's a good catch. That's a good catch.
No, yeah. So does your take kind of change with that, or?
I mean, look, I want to say it does, but if I had to be honest with myself, bro, he one-shot Blackbeard's whole crew.
Right. Okay.
I don't think it's that simple.
Okay. All right.
But then again, law ain't no bitch, you know what I mean?
to be fair, I'm gonna have to agree and side with you on this one as well. Like, Law is nice, his room is nice, but I just don't see any way for the room to save him. Because, right, if we put him up against the plethora of abilities that Magellan has, like, okay, he's got the Hydra, as you know.
Yeah.
And then if that's not catching Law, which he could probably dodge, let's be real, he could probably dodge. Then and again, we could. I'm not going to particularly go into like the speed of the OP and how fast Law can move and how he's like, One Piece character G2 Luffy was scaled to be low light speed tier or whatever. I'm not going to go into that.
Which is
but let's
yeah.
but let's just assume that he can dodge the Hydra. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, where is Law gonna go? Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
where? Okay, he dodges the Hydra, but then it's just gonna come back. If it's not the Hydra, he's gonna just do the one shot like he did against Teacher's Crew, and if he dodges that, poison gas. What the fuck? What are you gonna do against poison gas? Like, there's nowhere for you to go. Like, swap it with fire. Like, the gas will just follow you forever. Like, it's over. He'd have to leave Impel down, and even so, even then, I don't think he's gonna would even be able to escape. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So, yeah. I don't know. Do you have anything else to add to that at all?
Actually, yeah, I do have a counterpoint.
Yes.
Now that I just thought of it. Magellan, poison, all that. Cool. Law is a doctor though. Maybe he has the knowledge to counter some of his poisons. I don't know. Maybe.
Right.
That's
right.
like a one counter argument I just thought of. But if I have to be honest with myself, I don't know. I feel like maybe. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, he could probably survive the poison through his own ability. Fine.
Oh yeah, and his ope no mi. He can.
Yeah.
He can extract the poison from his body.
He could probably extract the poison from his body. So in terms of surviving against Magellan, he probably has a higher chance of surviving and getting away. And that's
you know what? This fight is closer.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh my bad, I keep cutting you off.
No, it's cool. Nah, you're good. What did you say?
I was trying to say, this fight is actually closer than I thought. The more I think about it, it's closer than I thought. This man, Law, extracted what was it? The disease he had, like the white lead disease or something like that?
Yeah, he basically cured himself. So the survivability is actually a lot higher than him being able to actually defeat Magellan. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? Because there's more ways of him running than there is of him actually doing anything against Magellan. I mean, he could cut the poison, but the poison won't necessarily go away. And we haven't seen anything in Law's room pre-time skip to make us believe he could just make the poison disappear. Like, you know what he did in the fight against Big Mom, where he just turned off the sound. Bro was just doing shit out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, just using the room more and more, like as a room where you can manipulate anything in that space.
Yeah.
But again, because he's obviously not he's not to the level that we're seeing, post Wano, pre Blackbeard, whatever. Then yeah, no, I'm just, to be honest, bro, I'm gonna have to give it to Magellan, sadly. Law gets absolutely folded, bro. So you got anything to add to that?
I'll give it to Magellan, but I feel like there's an argument to be made for Law. I thought it was a sweep at first, but I feel like there's an argument to be made for Law here.
Please go ahead.
No, like it's the one that I said pretty much, but the fact that he could possibly counter his poison or survive by extracting it from his body the same way he did to his own disease when he was younger.
Right, but the thing is, you see, with the white lead disease, it spreads. The white lead disease spreads over time, without having like any. Well, I mean, aside from death, you know what I'm saying? It kind of spreads over time without sort of like making you go through any particularly scrutinizing pain. Whereas with Magellan's poison, like would Law be able to extract the poison quick enough to act against how quickly the
No, I
poison
agree.
works, whilst
I agree.
also
See,
you see what I'm saying?
yeah. That's what counters
That's the
that
question.
counter basically.
You see what I'm saying? Like, how does he
Yeah.
extract the poison? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, what I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, if he does to him like he did what he did to Luffy, like he drowned Luffy in poison. The good
Yeah.
luck with that, Law. Like good luck with that. That's he's not getting out of that. I don't care how. I don't care if you have the Opie no need. Like it's you're not getting out of that.
This is what I'm saying. Like, if given enough time, if he can just get off Impel Down, he's probably surviving. I'd give him a low chance of survival, but definitely without help, higher than Luffy's, because Luffy didn't care. Like, he would have done anything to save Ace, but Law's a bit smarter. I'd say way smarter than Luffy. Like, he's not a meathead. He would
Yeah.
be like, yo, I'm sticking to the plan. I have to get out of here. I can't take any more poison gas, especially the doctor. But yeah, no, I mean, sadly, but surely I'd have to give it to Magellan. I just think he's just the better fighter. Got a bit more versatility
And experience.
Yeah,
And
and experience as well.
let's not forget he's the warden of Impel Down of all places.
This is what I'm saying.
Impel Down.
This is what I'm saying. He might even be on par with Admiral, but
It's possible. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I generally
not
do
too
not.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that's that crazy to say. Like I think it's a possibility. You never know.
You know, that could be a whole nother video
You
right there.
know. You should make that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I tell you what, like, if this video gets enough interest, like, or if anyone's listening, guys, in the comments, let us know if you'd like something like that. You know, us doing a power scaling on whether Magellan could be an admiral or not.
I'm on that Magellan agenda.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen bro for a while, but okay, moving on to the next fight. So, Luffy versus Hawkins. Now, in the initial recording of this video, I didn't mention what Luffy would be fighting Hawkins. So we're going to go with the Luffy that was there at the time Law was fighting Hawkins, or the Luffy present at the time that Zoro was fighting Hawkins. Now, this fight is mad because so my take is, what if Hawkins decides to take Luffy's subordinates hostage, which he fully well could do in a situation like what do you think Luffy would do? Because we know how he reacted to Ace trying to get his brother back. Bro was ready to sacrifice everything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Luffy's crew means a lot to him. So the point I wanted to make with this fight, just before you go, is when Ace died, Luffy was at a level of like sanity that was extremely questionable. Like bro was like basically on the same level as like as a rampaging beast.
Pretty much.
Bro was just going through like Amazon Lily's forest, smashing everything. Like it was stated he was gonna kill himself if he had continued the way he was, because of his unstable, because of the way he was mentally unstable. Jinbei reminding Luffy that he still had his crew helped him get over the death of Ace. So to me, that implies that to some degree, Luffy's crew means more to him than Ace, to some degree. I mean, you could say, well, you know, Ace and his crew are on par. Luffy's not the kind of guy to compare, but the fact that managed to calm him down, to me, sounds like in a situation or a fight like this where Hawkins takes Luffy's crew, you know, it's interesting because obviously Killer fights Hawkins, right? And he takes his left arm. But Killer's smart like that. He knows that, okay, he
Yeah.
doesn't have a left arm, so Hawkins bleeds out. He supposedly dies, loses, whatever. But Luffy is not that smart. Well,
No,
the thing
he's
about
not.
Luffy is
He's
he's
not.
like,
You're right.
he's got great battle IQ. I'll give you that. Like, he's a decent fighter. So he weirdly might come up randomly with the fact that, okay, somebody has this or that. You know, if someone was missing an arm, he'd probably remember that if it was necessary or when the time is right. But generally, I don't see him coming up with some sort of loophole to
Yeah.
defeat Hawkins. Do you see what I mean?
No, I see exactly what you mean. Because the opponents he tends to fight. Because there's two type of opponents in One Piece. There's people with hacks powers, and there's people with, like, I don't know, like the typical, I don't know, Rob Lucci, even Crocodile, or, you know, like the typical, like Doflamingo, whatever. Like Luffy's opponents tend to be more like, you know, the typical opponents, while the hacks ones, the crazy ridiculous ones that are like, you really have to like be smart to like figure out a way to counter them, those tend to go to other members of the crew.
Exactly. Or they usually have like a matchup with somebody who's a bit more tactical as opposed to just like a overpowering character or meathead type character, like for instance Luffy's or Zoro's. There were some arguments I made in my head about this fight as well, where one, I would say that the fact that Luffy's crew calmed him down when he was listening to no reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Having impulsive rampages whilst being unconscious. The fact he was able to calm him down when he wasn't listening to no reason seems to me like, or that kind of almost implies that maybe Luffy's crew almost means more to him than Ace's life. So I cannot, I don't know what your take is, but I cannot personally see how he would do anything to Hawkins knowing that might harm his crew. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you have anything to add to that, bro?
To be honest with you, I don't really have too much to add, because that was pretty much what I would have said about this whole fight, to be honest. I don't know what, like, I don't see him ramming, like, you know, like how he just rams through a fight sometimes and just like whatever his powers to it. I don't know if he could do that here. That's the thing. But maybe also, like, maybe Luffy could come up with like a, he might come out of it just saying like, oh, I trust my comrades, whatever, I trust my Nakama, and he'll just ram through it anyways, and whatever happens to them, he trusts them. He might say that too.
Right. This is the thing. It really depends, because he could go either way with it. He could say, nah, I'm gonna trust that they're just not gonna die. Or he could say, no, I cannot allow you to harm my crew. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so this is where another point that I thought of comes to mind. So we've seen with Hawkins' dolls, you know, every time you hit him, it looks like the hits, at least from the animation, which is also canon, the manga canon, that when you hit him, you have to hit him hard enough that it looks like the dolls or whoever replaces the pain taken from Hawkins dies, or it's a killing kind of blow. That looks like how his devil fruit registers the pain, or at least the attack. So does Luffy have to, if he decides to just go crazy, how hard does Luffy have to hit Hawkins in order for the dolls to be dispelled? And how much harm would that do to each member? Because let's say it's like a punch that would kill Hawkins, right?
Like a regular one.
You know what I'm saying? A regular one. Maybe a regular punch might kill Hawkins. Maybe I could see Zoro tanking that. Sanji could probably tank that. Funnily enough, I'd give it to Usopp to tank that. But could Robin tank that? Do you know what I'm saying? Could Nami tank that? Do you see where I'm coming from? Could Brook tank that? Like, how would that go down? You know, thinking about it now, actually a lot of his crew would probably be able to take a regular punch. Do you know what I mean? But if that's not the case, if you have to actually kill him, like if it has to be a killing blow in order to dispel the dolls, then like it really comes down to what is at stake. Like, what would happen if Luffy decided to attack Hawkins because he has to? Do you see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah. What do you think of that, bro?
Ah. To be honest, I think it really, like you were pretty much saying, I think it falls back on the endurance and like not stamina, the
Yeah.
endurance of each one of the Straw Hats and how long they could
Yeah.
last and how much of a fight they could live through before they kind of like sort of
This is it.
yeah. And I was like, while you were mentioning Robin, actually, I was wondering, like, say for example, if she were to go in her demonial form or whatever, would she be able to endure more attacks?
Oh, that's a great point, bro.
See, like,
That's a great point. Yeah, because I guess the way her devil fruit works is she can make clones of herself, but also don't they feel the pain that she
yeah,
takes?
they do.
You see what I mean? However, I do see what you're saying. Like, so if she, yeah, hypothetically speaking, made the demonian form, because there's more surface area, would the pain actually be less because it's spreading over a wider area? Do you see what I mean? Would she be able to take more pain? Because, if you were to, let's say, punch, if Mike Tyson was to punch me, I'm folded. It's over. It's over. You know what I'm saying? But if now I'm like 20 times bigger,
Yeah.
how much pain does that punch actually cause? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How much pain does that actually do to me? So that's a really interesting take, man. Oh God, this is a lot more closer than I thought, to be honest. I think, in conclusion,
Just from having this conversation, I think I'm going to change my mind.
I would probably go down the route of Luffy going to, just narratively speaking, because Luffy's going to be king of the pirates. Personally, I think he's at a point where he would fight Hawkins and try to take him out without caring too much about, not necessarily not caring about what would happen to the Straw Hats, but having enough faith that they wouldn't die based on how hard he thinks he has to hit Hawkins in order to take him out. Plus, if we're going down the basis that it's only 10 punches and each one of the crew has to take one punch, I think each one of them, or at least most of them, could probably take a base Luffy punch that would be enough to take out Hawkins without also just one-shotting the rest of his crew. Like, Zoro's endurance is crazy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, didn't Nami like stab herself in the Arlong arc as well? Do you remember that? She just kept stabbing herself. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll be real. I'm gonna go with Luffy just based on the fact that I think he would probably take the risk. What's your take on that?
I want to say it might just go to Hawkins.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if Luffy would take that risk. I mean, he would actually, because even in Onigashima, like, he trusted Momo to like he went and did the Bajrang gun anyways, even though he was endangering his friends. But he trusted Momo and the others to be fine. Right. Aside from that, there's that. But then, I don't know. I feel like Hawkins is two hacks. But I mean, if Luffy attacks him anyways, then he could beat him. So based on that, actually, I agree. Actually, I think Luffy would take that.
Nah, to be honest, it's an interesting take, man. Because before this video, I was almost convinced that you probably would side with me if I brought that point up. But when you brought up the Hawkins thing again, saying, but would he take the risk of having his crew going through it? It does make you think, though. It does make you think. But yeah, if you remember narratively, I guess Luffy just seems a lot more over the death of Ace. Like when he's talking to I can't remember the girl. You know the girl, the red bean soup in Wano. And they take the comic chat. Say again,
Tama.
Tama. You said, yeah. Yeah. That's. I think that's. It was Tama, right? You said.
Yeah.
So Tama was talking about how she met Ace, etc., etc. And then he also talks about it with Yamato as well. And between the two, I believe between those two conversations, the death of Ace gets brought up, but he seems a lot more easier to go through having those conversations than he did pre-time skip after Marineford.
Yeah. I
So
think it's acceptance. He just sort of accepted it. It still sucks, it still
that's what
hurts,
I'm
but it's
saying.
more like it's acceptance, and he thought that like just telling Tama right away is like the best way to go about it instead of like tippy-toeing around it.
This is what I'm saying, man. The fact he decided to make that decision when he didn't have to, just kind of makes it. I don't know. It feels to me like he's ready to move on. And if he's ready to move on, who's to say that? At the end of the day, he wants to be a pirate king. So I guess he has to have a little faith or enough faith to leave his crew alone, so that they can take on the new world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Okay. All right. And last fight is gonna be Luffy versus Big Mom. Okay. So I'm gonna go first on this one. So for me, we know that before Big Mom and Luffy did clash in Whole Cake Island, she blocked a Gear 4 punch, so that's something to take into
And
account.
she sent them flying out of it too.
She did, but that was before his post 10 amps. So now with the addition of Advanced Conquerors, Luffy does not even need Gear 5 to put down Big Mom, in my opinion. And I think he easily sweeps her as well. So to start off with, the biggest piece of evidence is Kaido himself putting Luffy on the highest pedestal twice. So once during chapter 1001, he places him alongside Shanks and Zebek. And then you also see Whitebeard and Odin in the panel, which is most likely the list of fighters he knows can contend with him to an extent.
Yeah.
And Big Mom is notably absent from the list, despite Kaido having fought her for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And then Kaido also calls Luffy the first opponent he's fought in a long time, who's truly gone toe-to-toe with him when he hadn't even unlocked Gear 5 by that point, which places him directly above Big Mom. So narratively, I think that already it's looking like it's in Luffy's favor. What are your thoughts so far on that?
To be honest with you, I think as soon as Luffy unlocked Gear 5, I honestly think it was over for both Kaido and Big Mom. Like if you put a full health, full power Gear 5, not a weakened Gear 5, I mean a full health Gear 5
full health
against Big Mom, it's over. No, bro. Like she's not doing anything. She's not doing anything to counter that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but it's over.
Bruh. You know what it is as well? You know what doesn't help her? So she's got like a lot of anti-feats in Wano, so obviously that includes like being repeatedly dodged and blitzed by Zoro pretty much every time they interact. And then Kaido like calls her pathetic for getting pushed off the cliff as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So Kaido consistently outreacts Luffy. Do you know what I'm saying? Luffy's stronger than Zoro. And then he almost like blitzes him. Say again?
Don't say that to the Zoro fans.
Well, we know. Okay, that could again be another video, but obviously, you know what I'm saying? To the point where like he basically blitzes him when he first enters hybrid form.
Yeah.
And then of course this is coupled with numerous AP showings as well, like one shot in Luffy. Even after he starts using like Conqueror's Haki, Big Mom is unable to do the same to Kid or Law after repeated hits. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Then on top of that, what else we got? Luffy's completely immune to Big Mom's lightning blasts. That's just to do with the fact that he's rubber. He also is resistant to the flames. He can resist the fucking blast breath as well, which was crazy. Yeah. So you've got Gear 5 defending against that. And then on top of that, bro can actually catch lightning bolts. You remember in the fight with Kaido?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Like,
yes,
come
he
on,
did,
bro.
yes.
What else do we need here?
He
Do you know what I'm
rubberized
saying?
lightning and caught it.
Also, I haven't seen Big Mom do anything crazy in terms of speed feats. Like, we know that Luffy can scale to light speed because obviously, so if we're talking Egghead, he's fighting Kizaru first time,
Yeah.
and doesn't Luffy run on air in
I
order
believe
to
so.
catch up with Kizaru? Do you remember
I
that?
believe so.
That was insane. He runs on air to catch up with Kizaru and stay on par with him. On top of that, Kizaru shoots light at him and he eats the light and dissipates it. How the fuck can you? Oh my god, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, Big Mom, I haven't seen anything from her to make me believe that she can move faster than lightning. Do you know what I'm saying? There isn't even like possibility of us arguing about electromagnetic waves or like lasers, just because we remember in the kid fight as well, he shot her with his rail gun. I
Yeah.
believe it was the rail gun, and sent her through the island, right? He just shot her through the island
Yes, he did actually, and the ground below too.
and ground below. Like, obviously, Law made the hole, and
That
then
island
hit
is
obviously.
huge.
Bro, this is what I'm saying. So I don't see anything in terms of speed as well that Big Mom could possibly do to stay on par with a Gear 5 Luffy. Like, that is an absolute blitz. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't even have future sight. Like, Katakuri has future sight, and we know a lot of the first commanders, like, they've got a lot of things that the captains don't necessarily have. Like, not necessarily saying that they're supposed to be stronger than their captains, but they always have something that, like, their captain might not be able to do that they're specifically nice with. So, you know what I'm saying? Katakuri, although he has future sight, he has it confirmed, but that doesn't necessarily mean she has it just because he has it. Like, a lot of people I've seen say or commenting on certain Twitter threads saying, oh, well, she has future sight, Katakuri has future sight, so automatically she has it as well. It's not confirmed. Like, that's just not a thing. You can't say that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I agree. You can't.
Yeah. So no, I think we're pretty much agreed on that. The fact that Gear 5 basically just absolutely neg diffs Big Mom in every way. So I mean, do you have anything else you wanna add to that?
To be honest with you, I don't think there's much discussion to be had when it comes to Luffy versus Big Mom. But I do think all of this, like, this whole thing was really fun, honestly. Like, having taking two characters, being Law and Luffy, and swapping their opponents. I think it was, it's definitely a great idea. I thought it was really fun, personally.
Yes, sir, man. And man, again, I appreciate you for coming through, man. And yeah, I'm gonna leave a link in the description to Sammy's page as well. So, guys, he's definitely one of the better One Piece YouTubers out there. So go sub to him, sub to me as well. Obviously, we're both on the road to 1K. And yeah, appreciate you for coming through for this video, man. To many more.
Pleasure. It was really fun. And y'all make sure to hit that like button. Hit that like button. This man deserves it. And go check out some of his other videos, like his Gorosei video. He made a video about what if you were to be. Oh, that Gorosei video, I'm telling you, it's funny. It's really funny.
Oh man, can't wait to see the takes on that. But okay, if you guys want us to do more content like this in the future as well, get this video to, let's say, 50 likes. Give me, like, I don't know, 10 subs, I'm gonna say, minimum, and then we can definitely hit you up with something else. But until the next video, peace.
Peace.
That's it.